character designs. Sometimes they slap, and sometimes they slam into the ground from a very high place. The point is, in a show, the writing could be amazing, but can be absolutely ruined if the character designs are bad. And bad designs can be subjective, but I think the three I've picked to redesign today are pretty commonly thought of as can be improved. So let's begin. The first design I've picked is Momo Yaoyorozu from My Hero Academia. So first, let's look at the original design. Personally, I actually think Momo is a very pretty character, and from the neck up, she's fine. But one issue I have for almost all of the My Hero girls are that they are first years. They're 15 to 16 years old. Now, look at the design again. Yeah, there's a glaring issue here, but we will address that, so let's just get to it. So, starting from the top, I put her hair in a bun. It's small, but as someone who had long hair before, when you run around, hair down or in a ponytail, it doesn't really change much. It still whips around and gets in the way. Momo has shit to do. She can't be held back, so it's in a bun. And now for the biggest issue with her original suit. I decided to make it panel that she could open whenever she needed to make something there. There's someone who makes disability-friendly bras and uses magnets for it. That's what I imagine would be the closure there. I also took off that random-ass shelf on her butt. She is rich and smart enough. She would have digital scans on her phone. She does not need physical books on a butt shelf. I also gave her shorts instead of panties because we don't need any chafing here. And also it just gives her a bit more freedom to move around. I kept her boots, just took off the heels because frankly I'm sick of every single female hero design having high heels. I also gave her one of those Fitbit smartwatch things. My hero is set in the future, plus Momo is rich. I'm sure there's a way they can make it so it could measure her fat percentage, so she could bulk up before a fight. Which is also why I made her a bit bigger. I'd assume she'd have a bit more fat on her to be able to create items without risk of running out too quickly. The back is basically the same, except I gave it a partial opening. Some exercise shorts have slits on the side with overlapping fabric, so when they lift their legs they can open and then when they stand straight they shut. That way Momo could produce things from her back, the fabric shifting open, whilst then being able to shut afterwards without it necessarily ripping. I also just redrew her school uniform, giving her the waistcoat and lengthening her skirt just a tad. I always thought Momo was wanting to be quite modest, so I decided to show it a bit more in her uniform design. So here it is, my version of Momo Yaoyorozu. Next design is a very infamous Equestria Girl design, Luna. Fun fact, Luna was my favourite My Little Pony character, and when I first watched Equestria Girls as a kid, I legitimately didn't get that she was meant to be Princess Luna and searched for her in every single frame, upset that they didn't include her. But no, this is her. So let's begin. So there are two types of Equestria Girl redesigns, either them as regular schmegular humans, natural hair and skin and no magic, or them still having magic and all quirky and shit. The original Equestria Girls is kind of weird. They originally had no magic prior to Sunset and Twilight, but they had the unnatural hair and skin tones. So I wanted to design Luna with both her original colour palette and one as a regular human. Another thing I get but just personally dislike is how the Equestria Girls are high schoolers. The OG ponies are adults. They have pony businesses, they pay pony taxes, I assume they're around the friends' ages, mid to late 20s. And it's fine just being Equestria Girls is a different world, but then Pony Twilight comes along and it gets weird if you think about it too much. Anyway, so in my AU they'd be adults. In the original world, Luna also didn't really interact with Celestia's school either, so I just kept her as a princess instead of making her a deputy headmistress like she is in Equestria Girls. And of course, I kept the kind of goddessy vibes the princesses have in My Little Pony, so I designed her in a gown. But I imagine as a human, she'd rock up in a big t-shirt, messy sweatpants and slippers. I imagine if I ever drew Celestia, I would also have a lot of similarities in their gown silhouettes, since Luna and her are two sides of a coin, and the moon's light is the reflection of the sun itself. As a human, I imagine her job would be in a large company, making sure any code kind of ran smoothly during the night, while Celestia was the face of the company during the day. I don't know, I think it'd be interesting. Like, coding is kind of like magic, I guess. You study it, you have to struggle, tweak, and swear a lot to get it to work, and anyone who tries to alter working coding, like spells, is a madman. That's how I imagine magic works anyway. I also always thought that Luna's cutie mark was really cool and unique, so I made it into a birthmark over her eye. I also designed her in her first appearance before her hair got all iconic when she was younger, because I had space and I kind of wanted to design the difference between the two. But yeah, I really love Luna and I hope I did her justice. And now for the final one. Probably one of the most infamous quote-unquote genres of redesigns, apart from Miraculous Ladybug. Yandere Simulator. I might want to do more designs in the future, so I just decided to start off with one of the most egregious ones in my opinion. The nurse. Just look at this. Take a few moments to actually look at this thing and just sit with the fact it exists. This is Mujikina. Mujikina literally meaning innocent in Japanese, according to Google Translate. She is the textbook, ditzy fan service character. She is meant to be a student nurse receiving training before going to study medicine. She is clumsy, airheaded, and accident prone. All great things, by the way, for someone in charge of others' health. Now, I don't know how it happens in other places, but here in England, school nurses do not dress like this. School nurses don't even dress like regular nurses. Instead of scrubs, they tend to just wear shirts and trousers, so either the student would just wear a school uniform or would wear casual clothes, so that's what I'm doing. I don't think I need to critique this design. I think we can all see what the issues are, but I need time to fill, so let's go. Number 1, the risks. With every movement, this girl is risking her boobs and butt falling out from her clothes. She wouldn't be able to learn anything because she'd be spending every second pulling down her skirt. Number 2, just her socks. Why the F would someone wear lingerie socks in a school and during work? Number 3, her hair. Keep hair tied back. It's simple, but it gets in the way, and having to push it back all the time is annoying. And number 4, how tight the dress is. There is no way this girl could comfortably move around in this thing. It's like the duct tape dresses from the early 2000s. She is not doing anything in that thing. To be honest, I thought the nurse was an actual adult staff member, so I was going to design her like that, a bit older. But looking at the wiki, she's a student nurse, so I decided to design her like a college student that's doing this for credit. Looking at the wiki now, she's actually 20 to 21, but that is still college age, so it's fine. I made it so she isn't a student at Academy, but instead she used to go here and managed to get the school to let her back for some credit and training. For my version of Yansim, it would be more of a psychological game. Iono, or the player, would, instead of just getting rid of romantic rivals, would be actively manipulating Taro's situation to get rid of any support he may have. I imagine Taro having distant parents, not necessarily abusive or neglective, but enough to make Taro feel it. That's why he'd take care of his little sister, who would be in middle school, but she is a whole other topic. I imagine Muja would become like a big sister to him. She'd be warm and welcoming, letting Taro sit in the nurse's office during breaks and listen whilst she did work and he ranted about anything and everything. Muja would be revealed after the player would have either ruined or killed the 5 rivals before her, and as a big sister character to Taro, he would cling tighter to her, afraid of losing her. Player, seeing this, would either share a scandal to get Muja out of the school or kill her. This would be a big plot point of the game, and I imagine whatever would happen would be a pivotal trigger in the story. During the game, I like the idea of Taro becoming quieter and more broken, his shoulders slumping more, his head getting messier, and his eyes getting duller. I like the idea of rumours swirling around, with every person Taro getting close to either disappearing or getting scandals. Everyone would start putting distance between him and them. This would start to show as Taro would start off as smiley and bright, with a good amount of friends, and then become alone and duller. I think the game's colours would also become duller and greyer the further the player got through, reflecting the state of Taro and his reputation. Anyway, back to the design. Like I said, I changed her personality a bit. I like the idea of her naturally being clumsy, but instead of just being airheaded and fine with it, she would focus more, taking steps to keep her hand steady and using a bunch of post-it notes and writing on her arms to ensure she wouldn't forget anything. She wouldn't want to let her clumsiness get in the way of her dream or risk her future patience. So those are my final 3 designs. So let me know what you think and any other designs in media you hate, because I know there are some that I've just repressed from my memory. Anyway, have a cup of tea, have a good day, bye.